I streamed a blind Nuzlocke of Pokémon Violet and gave my chat the power to screw me over at any given moment. Here's how it all went down. To touch briefly on what a Nuzlocke is, it's a rule set that us man-children use to make the game harder, because if a Pokemon faints, it's considered dead and can't be used again. That combined with the fact that you can only catch one Pokemon per route and have to completely restart upon losing a battle means you'll be honored with the privilege of playing through a kid's game for the 5th time in a row while everyone else has plans this evening. Of course, there's a bunch of other rules to follow as well, but hopefully you get the general idea. Blah blah blah, dead animals, whatever. Where does Twitch chat fit into all this? Well, I'm glad I pretended you asked. Basically, I set up a bunch of different rewards that viewers would redeem with channel points to inconvenience me. Here's a list of them on screen. Anywhere from trapping my Pokemon into a fight, to permanently replacing moves, to more peaceful options like a happy little picnic with my beloved partners. And then dumping an entire item stack from my bag, just to name a few. In addition, if the sub goal was ever reached, a Pokemon I own would be released at random. With all that out of the way, it's time for my first ever playthrough of Pokemon Violet. Our boy Meaty Jeezy, as with all other 10-year-olds, has a complete lack of agency or control over the events of his life. To fit this theme and help roleplay a bit better, I made chat vote on which starter to choose. It would be okay as long as I didn't get Sprigatito because I had a bad feeling the evolution would stand up and look sexy a la Incineroar. They voted for Quaxly, which is fine by me, but it kinda reminded me of another duck Pokemon, so I named it after that. Nimona insists that we battle and also be besties, which is a little bit off-putting since she has to be at least several years our senior. Of course, we're robbed of the choice to say no since Mom wants us to play nice with the neighbor kid because her daddy owns a tech conglomerate. After our scrap, we begin the sort of walk to school that your grandparents would tell you about. Along the way, we're forced to catch Lechonk. Unfortunately, since it already has a perfect name, any nickname we give it is doomed to be an objective downgrade. I discovered there's no option for the set battle mode in this game, meaning we'll have to switch every time we knock out an opponent. It's not a big deal since we can just say no, but why? At the very least, there's an option to skip cutscenes, which will surely make repeat playthroughs more tolerable. Next, we find a weak Pokemon on the beach, and my gamer's intuition kicks in here. It's weak, we should throw a ball at it. Turns out that wasn't the right answer, so it deletes our lunch and leads us through what I can only describe as a telltale hallway, but without the storytelling. Fast forwarding through all 10 minutes of that shit, we meet Arvin, who has either daddy or mommy issues depending on the version you play. In this case, GigaChad father has neglected poor Arvin and he doesn't want to see the guy from the box art again, so I guess that means we take it? After explaining to Miraidon our rule against using legendaries in this run, it agrees to never participate in any fights. On the path ahead, we catch Azurill, our second encounter. For these encounters, I was initially closing my eyes and running around until I bumped into something, but gradually decided that interpretation of blind Nuzlocke might be a tad excessive. Plus, I wanted to experiment with more of the new Pokemon introduced. We do a bit of grinding before heading to the entrance of town, where a viewer breaks out the most aggressive power play I've ever seen, making the first reward redemption, Lockout move slot. This locked me out of any damaging moves for the fight, sparing the life of this particular Wooper. In this world, logic and reason are trumped by one smiling boy, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I didn't want to gain too much experience for fear of overleveling before the first gym, so I settled for just a level 10 starter. Nimona, sensing that we were underleveled like a shark smelling blood in the water, immediately attacked without warning, and this is how the fight went. How do I use a blast? I think I better... Is she gonna terrastalize electric move into my fucking water type right now, and I'm about to eat shit for the first time in this playthrough? Thundershock? This might even kill. Cracked! Oh, fuck off. I think I just wiped. 2 deaths, baby. How do you delete save files in this game? I just got dusted by a bitch in fingerless gloves. Wait, that means I have to go through all the opening dialogue again? No, please, that shit was like an hour long! Here again. It's not all bad though. Game Freak very kindly included the option to skip cutscenes, so at the very least we should be able to make it back to where we were in no time at all. So did you guys know the skip cutscene option doesn't actually do anything? I shit you not, I double and triple checked to make sure it was on. It skips exactly 10 seconds of Miraidon transforming. This is not a cutscene. This is not a cutscene. Pop quiz, what is this? I don't know, but I can tell you what it isn't! It turns out when you know a rival battle is coming, it's really goddamn easy. In this timeline, chat unfortunately chose the Weed Cat, and a viewer even redeemed Shadow Tag here to prevent us from switching, but it didn't matter. Gang Weed for life. Our personal boogeyman hands over one of those Terra Orbs so we can be twinsies. On our way into school, we meet a girl named Penny who's getting harassed by the absolute lamest reprobates you've ever seen. After we save her, she and her taxidermied Eevee saunter off, and in a perfect world, we will never see her again. The days come and go, and we attend school not a single time in the whole month. The board notifies mom of our absence, and the director calls us into his office for a formal expulsion. Whatever, old man. Screw education. I'm gonna be a YouTuber. Before leaving town, two almost complete strangers stop me to squabble over who controls my life, much like my parents after the divorce. In the middle of discussing visitation rights, we're interrupted by the hacker known as 4chan.
It was up to Meaty Cheesy to decide whether he goes or not. Wasn't that what you said, Mona and Darvin?
Oh my god, dude. Why did it take me so long to piece together, like, the shy rando chick with the taxidermied Eevee backpack is the hacker? Anyone who didn't see this plot twist coming probably wouldn't notice a train if it were coming right at them. On our way out to the first gym in Cortando, we do a little grinding and catch a Mareep. Since I forgot to mention our other encounters, it was a Lechonk and a Zuriel again, as well as a young goose from that cave we skipped the first time around. A viewer forces us to box our starter for 3 trainer battles, which I don't think much of, but it immediately becomes an issue. As we're out hunting for a new encounter, we cross into a zone where the level curve spikes above the current level cap, pitting us against a level 16 Capsicid. Of course, I still intend to catch the thing and terrastalize Yungoos to get some damage off. It does a sizable chunk, but I decide to risk a Zuriel since it got fat rolls instead of big muscles. So we gamble the life of blue balls on a singular blue ball, a great ball to be exact. To spoil the outcome, it doesn't work, and if watching one of my pets die wasn't tragic enough, we can't even mourn properly thanks to a perfectly timed sub notification. Shit! That cost me a life just then. Oh. You'd think after watching such a gruesome pet murder, reality would kick in and I'd choose to cut our losses and survive another day, but we instead risk the life of r/chonkers as well on yet another great ball. Chonkers, no! The sunken cost fallacy got the best of me. Am I gonna lose? Like, if I run, I think it's a 50-50. Oh, I got away. We're now 2 Pokemon down, forfeit our encounter, and have no answer for the Bug-type gym. Needless to say, this run was mad scuffed and probably doomed. Realizing we'll need another party member to deal with Bug-types, we backtrack and search every eligible area. We pick up some kind of power-up from Mario Galaxy and name it accordingly. Then we finish grinding up our team, clear this Fall Guys minigame they have for the gym test, and just like that, after 5 hours and 10 minutes of playing Pokémon Violet, we are ready for the first gym. Our opponent is Katie, and it's fitting that she's a pastry chef because goddamn is she packing cake. I mean, she seems like a super sweet lady. Look, forget it, the battle's starting. She leads with Nimble and we lead with Mario the Rock. On turn 1 we set up Rock Polish to double our speed and get hit by a double kick. The plan was to terrastalize turn 2 and smack down, but if Nimble turned out to be part fighting, it would probably survive and complicate things. But at this point I've made my own bed and I have to shit in it. Both it and Tarantula go down in one hit, then her ace Teddiursa comes out. It terrastalizes into the objectively worst type and lives to land a decently strong Fury Cutter. Bringing in Oranberry was almost a mistake here since after Mario takes a bite, Teddy throats that slop straight off the floor, healing it back up but not out of kill range. Mario smacks the little bear till it's hibernating for good, giving us our very first badge. Oh god, it's gonna stand up. I know it's gonna stand up. Oh my god, I know it is. Ah! Traveling up the hill, we catch a little grasshopper of our own and name it Fomantis. Also, thanks to a viewer redemption, Flappy is now named Halal. On our way to the second gym, we catch a Luxio that is too high level to use, and a Teddiursa, which, see the previous example. It seems like our team is doomed to match up poorly against the next grass-type gym leader, but we get one more chance at an encounter in a cave here, and... Okay. Doug. This cave is 5 feet away from where I caught Nimble, who was level 14. and the previous 2 encounters were on the way to the second gym. So why are they a higher level than the gym leader? That aside, it seems like we're in quite the predicament here. This Dugtrio might have us stuck with Arena Trap, meaning it might take just 1 life or completely wipe us. Tensions are high. This could be the end of attempt 2. Obviously, I didn't want that, so we packed up our Pokemon and simply walked away. And if that sounds like a cop-out, then I guess you should have watched the stream. Finally, we arrive in Artisan, play a Gmod prop hunt minigame with these Sunflora, and receive a very ominous warning from our rival, claiming she'll beat us within an inch of our life if she ever catches us in the same gym as her again. All that's left now is to assemble our ragtag band of misfits and take on Gym Leader Brassius. For this fight, we'll be relying heavily on Fomantis since its bug-type attacks make it our only answer into his grass types. We juice our boy up with an Adamant Mint and poise the little grasshopper for a clean sweep. Right out the gate we terrastalize and go for Pounce, barely missing the KO on Petalil, which is fine since it just does chip damage with Mega Drain. The next turn we knock it out, then one-shot the incoming Olive Boy. When I see Sudowoodo is his ace, my heart sinks as I realize this is probably the end of Fomantis. We definitely won't get the one-shot, and our Mantis Boy would certainly get his bones crushed by any rock-type move from Sudowoodo. I knew deep down a sacrifice probably needed to be made here, but at the same time, I was oddly attached to this silly little bug. Maybe because I wasted a mint on it, but who can say for sure. So after pondering a few good minutes, I devised a plan to save our little bug boy, as long as we didn't get horribly unlucky. We switch Halal into the obvious incoming rock type move, Trailblaze. Used a grass fucking move. Whatever. For some godforsaken reason, probably related to speed control, the Sudowoodo used a new grass-type move I've never heard of instead of just going for the guaranteed kill with Rock Throw, meaning Fomantis could have just stayed in. See, that's what's so fun about playing blind. You get swept by things that, for all you know, don't actually exist, and swept we are about to get. We managed to paralyze it and switch into Gangweed with the intention of abusing Paraflinch RNG. Since Bite is a 30% chance to flinch and Full Para is a 25% chance, that means that Sudowoodo has effectively a 55% chance to be immobilized. Yet despite those odds, it managed to break through and land 3 whole Trailblazes until it outspeeds and starts going for Rock Throws. We sack Young Thug here because, of the few lives I care about, Young Goose is not one of them. Although it's too little too late, we send out Fomantis and go for a Pounce. All we needed was 2 full paras at any point, but unfortunately we get no such luck. He missed. He missed. It didn't kill! Oh, I'm dead. Oh, fuck. Oh, no. In a moment of desperation, we turn to Mario, but at this point the run is pretty much doomed unless we can finish off Sudowoodo in just one attack. Sadly, try as he might, Mario doesn't have the firepower to get the job done. Yes! Oh, fuck me, Dad. Any viewer interference in this fight probably would have ended the run, but fortunately everyone watching the stream at that point had already sat through the opening twice and probably wanted to avoid a third playthrough as much as me. Cowards. By the way, I intentionally did the Paraflinch math wrong just to bait some loser into leaving a comment about it. With 2 badges, our level cap is raised to 24, so we can fill the 2 holes in our party with Luxio and Teddy Ursa. Instead of heading for the 3rd gym right away, we stop by the Stone Titan to see what he's all about. He goes down remarkably easy, though it turns out this giant enemy crab has a 2nd phase, since he just scampers away. Now, as a Dark Souls player, I've seen this gimmick before and intuitively understand what to do next. So we jump off the ledge and do a plunging attack for a huge chunk of damage. I got the plunging attack. Now we go for round 2 with Cloth. Arvin runs up out of nowhere to steal credit and claim half the loot from the raid boss. Lucky bastard gets an Herba Mystica drop on his first try. When asked what he's even going to use it for, he just gets all shifty and says,
I need to do some cooking.
There's no time to unravel that statement. We've got places to be. While Arvin is busy, the plan is to take out the next Titan Pokemon so he can't come in last second and steal the... Oh, for the love of... Dude, get lost! I want the loot this time!
Bro, I was gonna share it with you.
Oh yeah, as if, buddy. Just admit that you're sniping me right now.
Sniping you? What the hell does that even mean, man?
So, we gonna fight or not?
Man, shut up!
Mind your own business, dude. We're in the middle of something. God damn it, just shut up, bro.
Nobody cares. Yeah, it's just... I don't know. I feel like maybe going open world was a mistake for this franchise.
I mean, at least the new Pokemon designs are pretty cool, bro. Want to see my dog?
Sure. Oh, cool dog. Can it, like, move?
Nah, bro.
Give me that sandwich, white boy.
Did that thing just talk?
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. In the time we've been in that cave, Miraidon has somehow taught itself to swim, which is convenient since it lets us merrily sail into the southern sea and catch a Magikarp we call Carpium. Then the trend of overleveled encounters continues with this Paldean Tauros. You should have seed bombed last turn in hindsight, but you never know. You really do.
Skill issue. Skill issue.
We did it! Normally, I'm not one for bending the rules mid-run, but Game Freak didn't give a shit about balancing the level curve in this game, so the burden now falls upon me to make it playable. As such, I decided that from this point on, anytime our encounter is above the level cap, we have to re-roll it, though the implementation of that rule is probably too little too late to save this run. Without our starter, we no longer have an answer to the upcoming electric gym, meaning we'll inevitably need to make sacrifices and it'll all snowball from there. Right when it felt utterly hopeless, we managed to catch Wattrel on some island in the Eastern Sea, and its ability Volt Absorb meant we now had a proper electric immunity, and thus a fighting chance, so long as Twitch chat doesn't screw me over. After leveling up most of my team except for Carpium, we reached the door of the gym and stopped dead in our tracks. Nemona's warning from before resonated with me in a bad way, so just in case, we hit the shops and pick up a helmet for protection and a gun for protection. With a trembling hand, we slowly opened the door to that gym and, oh, thank God she isn't here. Wait, I'm getting a phone call.
Hola, it's me. Where are you? I've been looking all over for you.
I'm not at the Laventia gym.
Really? That's a shame. I'm headed over there right now. Well, I guess I'll catch you some other time.
I've got to run now.
Hey, didn't you say you weren't at the Laventia gym?
I meant I'm not going to be here in about 2 seconds.
Let's battle.
I refuse.
Oh, silly. Consent is just a formality.
Forgot that illusion of choice was a running theme here. Look, Nemona, just back off. You don't want the smoke.
Let's both do our very best.
Are you even listening to me? I have a gun.
I'm gonna wear your skin like a suit.
Don't worry, Tougher Times. I'll get you out of this. Shit, I forgot to buy ammo. Tougher Times, please hang on. No!
There's nothing more pleasant than the sound of the screams.
You'll pay for tanking my Risk of Rain 2 viewer base, you trollop.
Dios mio, that was so much fun. I love a man who will literally just kill me.
You are so lucky your family is rich. Another cadaver added to the pile, and it's all because we hadn't trained up Carpium yet. I decided to stop being stingy and power leveled the little fish to level 20 with our rare candy stockpile. Now that it's evolved, it is by far the strongest Pokemon on the team. We have it relearn the move Waterfall and send it out for its debut battle against some random trainer. They send in a pink urchin, and before we have time to switch it out, how about we don't? Well, how about we do then, because I'm shadow tagged in here now. Flinch. Flinch. We may have gotten lucky this time, but hopefully that showcases the horrifying potential of the power I've bestowed upon my viewers. Now that our team is ready, we head outside and are greeted by, no, she's a reaction streamer and a VTuber? No shot in hell am I letting this ditz slap her face over my content and call it her own. In fact, I'm gonna go report her channel right now. That'll teach you to be a parasite with 4 million followers. I have always been Iono's #1 fan, which is why it would be a dream come true if her and I could collab, but apparently she doesn't work with anyone under 20k subs, and right now we have... Wait, we actually have over 20k now? Holy shit. Genuinely, thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. When I first started, I wasn't entirely sure the channel would even get this far, but thanks to you, I finally get to collab with the #1 streamer in the entire Paldea region. For our last two encounters before the gym, we catch a love disc and a tadbulb. We could have evolved the tadbulb with a thunderstone, but I didn't know any better at the time. With all the prep work done, let's get this collab underway. Yo, what up? You ready to game?
Only if you're ready to get your butt kicked, kiddo.
Oh yeah? How about when I win, I get to shout out my Twitch channel?
Bet. How about we get down to it and give the folks at home an electrifying battle?
Sounds good. I'm ready when you are.
Mods, go ahead and switch chat to emote only mode.
Okay chat, I'm gonna need you to tell me which Pokemon she has in the back.
Everything good? You muted for a second there.
Yep, I'm good. Using external methods, we're able to cleanly predict every one of Iono's moves and send out the funny Nintendo bird each time she uses an electric move. We whittle down her watch roll, then her belly bolt. This takes so long the fucking weather changes. I can't imagine the folks at home were having a good time watching this. With the rain up, I suddenly see the potential for a love disc sweep, so we swap in, terrastalize, and get ready to deal some massive damage. So I kinda jumped the gun a bit here, thinking about the 3 times damage boost from rain and terrastalization, and forgot that Love Disc is bottom 10% of all Pokemon when it comes to its special attack stat. Whoops! Iono's last Pokemon is Mismagius, and its ability Levitate means that after terrastalizing into an electric type, it no longer has any weaknesses. To make matters worse, we have no Pokemon that resist Ghost-type attacks since tougher times meant an untimely demise. And to top it all off, it was able to confuse our Pokemon, making stalling very risky. All these factors threaten to turn Mismagius into an unstoppable force, or to put it in Zoomer terms,
It's Maggin time.
Mismagius starts magging all over our team, but we're able to swap in Halal to set up Light Screen, and by some stroke of either luck or genius, I had it hold a Personberry to cure itself of confusion after switching in. From here we hard swap to Mario and pray that it doesn't hit itself twice in a row. Now that we've landed Salt Cure, all we have to do is stall out the timer on Mismagius' life. Mario can't do it alone though. In order to ensure our victory, we'll need to choose who to sacrifice. Ultimately, I decide to switch in Wattrel. It's a 50-50 whether Mismagius goes for Charge Beam or Hex, and if it chooses the latter, Nintendo the Wattrel will surely perish. It gets hit by Hex on the Switch, and I have to look into that poor little bird's eyes and tell it that everything will be okay, even though we all know what happens next. But that still wasn't the end of it. There's too many turns left for Mario to stall out alone, so we draw straws, and unfortunately, Dinger drew the shortest one. We may have lost a few lives, but somehow this run is barely alive, and it's all thanks to my exceptional skill and prowess when it comes to battling Pokemon.
My chat's saying you were stream sniping.
What? I would never.
They're probably just mad they lost the prediction. Congrats on winning!
Make sure to follow me on twitch.tv/meaty_. With the amount of deaths we've accrued so far on this journey, it was only a matter of time before it all came crashing down. Much like Sisyphus, we would continue to push that boulder up the mountain, except in our case, that boulder was a snowball that only kept getting heavier. On the way to the 4th gym, we catch an Arrokuda which evolves soon after, some kind of tumbleweed, and finally Girafarig. Girafarig could end up being important since it learns Baton Pass, which I'm still allowed to use even if a viewer redeems Shadow Tag. Same with the move Volt Switch, which is why Halal stayed on the team for basically the whole playthrough. Despite this being a blind playthrough, my bullshit detector was going off with this tumbleweed, so I looked up how to evolve it. Turns out we need to walk 1,000 steps with it out of its ball. After our mandatory grinding sesh, the team is prepped and we step into the gym only to find out this senile old gym leader is off throwing his life savings away at random auctions. When we talk to him, he entrusts us with $10,000 in cash and says our gym challenge is to go out and spend it. Okay, he deems our performance satisfactory. On the way back, I learned something aggravating. Pokemon that evolve by level up will simply skip their evolution if you are grinding using the auto battle feature. Why? This is especially fucked since it means we can't get Ampharos for the next gym, and that would almost be a problem if this Alzheimer's-ridden fisherman wasn't such a pushover. Gyarados does most of the work simply by being tanky and resisting water moves. Now it's time to head for the 5th gym and get...
You haven't done any of the Team Star plotline yet.
Wait, that stuff is actually important? I'll just do it after I get all the gym badges.
I have your exact GPS coordinates, and I was thinking of sharing them with Nimona.
Okay, change of plans. We head over to Team Star's Dark Base to challenge Giacomo. Some weirdly dressed old dude we've never seen named Clive shows up, and of all the times for the main character to be privy to a secret identity, this is the one apparently. The only instance in the entire game where a disguise and pseudonym actually had me fooled. Whatever. Team Star wastes our time with a dumb minigame before their boss Giacomo reveals himself. Apparently now isn't a good time since his Minecraft faction is getting raided, so we kick his ass while he tries to multitask on both the battle and the raid and ultimately loses both. In a fit of rage, he tries to run us over with his big ass car. Predicting this exact situation, I rigged his car with an ignition bomb. So despite the fact that I had a little cheat sheet showing the levels of all the gyms and titans, I decided that, just once, I would rely on the nurse at the Poke Center to tell me where to go next. After all, that dialogue option probably exists specifically to guide players through the parabolic sine wave that is this game's level curve. Turns out, she only points you to the nearest obtainable badge, which in this case is the, Quaking Earth Titan. The entire first phase, I'm thinking, holy shit, this thing is hitting pretty hard, even through attack drops and resistances. And suddenly that finally makes sense when Arvin shows up for phase 2 and sends out a level 44 Scovillain. That psycho nurse was trying to get me killed. Good thing our team matches up well into it, but damn, that was scary. The next Team Starbase we need to assault is the, Cheddar base. After the time waster gauntlet, Mela pulls out on her whip. And goddamn, is this what no parental supervision looks like? If my daddy saw me leave the house in those, he'd beat the shit out of me. Hi Mela, I'm here to dethrone you.
You think you can fuck with Team Star and get away with it?
God damn, what is up with those boots?
Making fun of me? I'm gonna wring your neck out, you little cocksucker!
I severely doubt that. Oh shit!
I guess I was just lashing out due to my lack of parental affection. I'm sorry.
It's cool. I'll level with you. I forgot why I'm even here.
To take my star badge?
That doesn't sound like me. You can keep it. See ya. So guys, I made a Patreon. Okay, now it's time for the 5th gym. On our way over, we search the grass for a new encounter. While looking for a new Gen 9 Pokemon to add to the team, we accidentally get ambushed by... Ah, get the fuck away from me! No, fuck off! At the time, I lamented this encounter, not knowing it had a new evolution. How young and naive I was. Soon after, we get ambushed again by yet another unwanted encounter. I'm gonna get in trouble out here. Get away! I might be imagining it, but I think my bag feels slightly lighter. Whatever. Our team was primed and ready to take on the normal type gym. I mean, how hard could it even... Oh no. Illusion of choice strikes again, but thankfully this was a scripted no, and she promises she'll jump us after the gym battle. How reassuring. For the gym test, we have to guess a secret menu item at the restaurant. Following one of the hints, we locate the odd one out at the ice cream stand. Found it. Okay, the gym leader here doesn't care about being a gym leader at all. He's some depressed salaryman being forced to take on volunteer work at the gym, and we interrupted him during his lunch break. Obviously no disrespect to Larry, but it's very clear that his passion isn't battling. Even his ace Staraptor only has 2 moves, Aerial Ace and Facade. The only redeeming factor of this fight is that it served as my first ever introduction to Dunsparce. They evolved Dunsparce in this game? Let's go! They just gave him a thorax. They just gave him another body part. Also, his fan club rolled up at the end, and I thought that was pretty hype. We may have won, but it's too late to escape Nimona. I knew it would come to this, and I'm ready this time. The gun is loaded, and I won't let her take another life. Wait, where the hell is my gun? No worries, we've got Tauros and Gyarados on our team this time. Bullrun single-handedly tears through her first 3, then Carpium switches in to take on her ace. Let's see if I'm faster. I hope I am. Good, let's go. Get some lucky flinches out here. Let's go. It's 100%. It's 100% flinch rate. See? Look, it's literally 100% flinch rate. I don't know if you guys actually knew that, but they buffed Bite to be 100% flinch in this game, so... Look, it'll flinch again. See? I'm not even lying. It's just a lot of people don't know that. As a reward for our display of raw, unfettered skill, Gita gives us 5 copies of the Terrablast TM, and of course, in a matter of seconds, a viewer makes me dump all of them from my bag. Thanks, asshole. Our next order of business is to take on the Steel Titan. We trek to its marked location only to find... Wait, oh, I'm here. What the hell are you? Did you guys know that this game is exactly like Dark Souls? When climbing these ladders, we can hold B to climb them a little bit faster. Not only that, but when we get to the top, there's another opportunity for a plunging attack. This is exactly like the Taurus Demon, or in this case, the Tauros Demon. Time for another Hail Mary. And that is the story of how I one-shot this Titan Pokemon. Oh, never mind, I forgot about Phase 2. Arvin's back, but I want that Herba Mystica to myself, and I'm not screwing around this time. We knock out his weird little jellyfish thing, making him ineligible for any drops. He mopes around like a complete loser while me and my motorcycle enjoy the best sandwich I've ever had in my life, Arvin. Oh, seriously, it's so good. And now our bike can use Rivali's Gale, making the overworld movement almost fun. At the base of an ice mountain, we catch a Citadel named Morby, a Charcadet named Raiden, then accidentally encounter the Among Us Pokemon. Around this point, a viewer redeems picnic time, which is perfect because our dirty little boys need a sponge bath. Other than hygiene and sandwiches, there's absolutely nothing special about this picnic, and there is no narrative significance to me mentioning it. Probably. Team Star's Poison Base is next on our hit list, and I've got to admit their leader Atticus is kinda my spirit animal. Not the punishment awaits thee, wretch. A plague on my house! Fuck you! A plague on your house, asshole. Our next encounter on Glaciado Mountain is a Sneasel, which should help our chances against the upcoming Ghost Gym. It shall remain unevolved as I wasn't sure where to get the Razor Claw yet. Down by another team's starbase, I decide to pick our next encounter from a Terra Raid den and catch a Bagon with the fighting Terra type. We never terrastalize this thing a single time. Moving on to the Montanevera gym test, we have to participate in a concert, and holy shit, is that moist critical?
Hey, what's up, pussy fart? You ready to get up on stage and give some toddlers the old one too? We got some speakers, some lights, basically the whole shebang. Let me tell you, it's gonna be a real fucking hootenanny.
Then there's a 5-minute unskippable cutscene of Critical singing 2019 Guy, I kid you not. Afterwards, it's time for the rap battle to begin. I wasn't expecting much from this crusty old wench, but I'll be damned if she didn't end this man's career. This is my time and this is my day. You're not gonna stand in my way. Nice. Listen up, rhyme, your reign ends here. You're gonna get rung up by this pro cashier. Damn.
Pro cashier, well, I'm about to check out. Musta got your rhymes on a deep discount. Please, you think you can step to my game? Fool, I got rhyme right there in my name. I'm a spectre from which there is no protector, and victory unto me you will render when the crowd sees you as a mere pretender. You wanna end my reign? Yeah, keep dreaming. Buy a book of rhymes, kid, and start reading.
That was fire. I personally would have crushed her in a battle of lyrics, but it's not up to me. It never is. Instead, we're gonna have to crush her in a battle of Pokemon, and out of spite for dangling that option in front of me, I'm going to narrate this entire battle with a rap song. Gimme a beat. That'll do.
Mimikyu on the left and Banette on the right. We got Halal and Claw itching for a fight. We swap out Claw, break through the disguise. Now Rhyme looking meek, put that fear in her eyes. The roar of the crowd catch us wearing a crown as we put both ghosts back into the ground. Toxtricity's Terra Ghost looking tame, but the crowd's the target audience for this game. Their cheers give an omni boost to her team, and that damage we take makes me want to scream. But we've still got a fighting chance with Bull Run in play, and Volt Switch from Halal gonna save the day. Now this battle should be over, it's a 2v1, but it was arrogant to think that the fight was done. Sell all of your stocks while you still can, my friend, because this Bull Run is coming to an abrupt end.
Bull Run was such an asshole. So why does it hurt so bad? The best way to cope with emotional trauma is to run from it, which is why we beeline straight for the 7th gym. Along the way we catch a Dunsparce and a Clodsire, and for all 2 of you who noticed that this is the cave where we had that Dugtrio encounter earlier and are pissed I'm taking a second encounter here, congratulations, and if it's any consolation, Barrascuda dies. I mean, wait, really? What I meant to say is that Dunsparce evolves into the Dunsparce. Then it dies. I did not see that coming in the slightest. For once, I technically consented to battling Nimona, so I can't really blame this one on her. Before taking on the gym leader, we craft Raiden some armor from the fragments of poached teacups. There was a not so insignificant cost of life, but who gives a shit about a bunch of wild Sinisty? Without further ado, it's time to meet the next gym leader, Tulip, a psychic type specialist. As a makeup artist, she says she would love to give us a full facial. Took the words right out of my mouth. We cripple her giraffe and volt switch into Claw, who hones his namesake and sweeps the entire gym with absolutely zero resistance. It was nice to meet you, Tulip. Can I please have your number? After getting thoroughly rejected, we give up on women entirely and instead choose to pursue men. As such, we seek out Grusha, the 8th gym leader. Before we're allowed to challenge him, we need to prove we can shred. As always, we lead Halal, use Thunderwave, then Volt Switch into Raiden. From here, we set up speed boosts with Flame Charge, then dumpster the rest of his team with Bitter Blade, a 90 base power move that also heals the user. And so, with a decisive victory, we approach Grusha and ask if he maybe wants to grab some coffee sometime. To which we get shot down again. I see how it is. So other people are allowed to say no to me, but not the other way around? We live in a society. With a new level cap of 56, we get to work cleaning up the remaining team's star bosses and titan battles. This base in particular features a boss who is a boy with a sick-ass bitch-smacking golden pimp game. We knock out his first Pokemon, then send in Raiden. Step 1, Dance of the Swords. Step 2, Charge of the Flame. Step 3, Losing of the Battle. I had no idea about Darkspun's ability, but thanks to that misplay, Raiden is going to be sitting the rest of this battle out. Not only that, but Darkspun ended up doing quite a bit of damage to our whole team, meaning only Ampharos and Mario are still healthy. The only way this could possibly get any worse is if we were, say, hypothetically, locked out of using Earthquake, not allowed to switch out, and about to die from Confusion self-hit. Luckily, we don't have to imagine hell because we're currently living in it. The cherry on top of this dick cheese cake is that Salt Cure's passive doesn't affect Pimpmobile at all. The only reason Mario is still alive is because of an attack drop from Intimidate earlier. However, when the opponent spams nothing but confusion-inducing moves, the fight devolves into sheer luck, and all it takes to lose a life is one bad roll of the dice. Mario, no, you're still confused? Oh my god. He was dead. He was really dead. Mario may have gotten lucky this time, but now we're steadily running out of recovery. Mario needs to clutch up for several consecutive turns if he wants to make it out alive. Turn by turn, chewing our fingernails to nubs, all we can do is sit and pray that our boy can clutch out a win. And finally, we whittle it down to just a shred of health. All it takes is 2 more attacks to win, and all it takes to die is 1 unlucky confusion. The fate of Mario the Garganackle is about to be decided. Regardless. Oh, let's go. Okay, no confuse this turn, and Rock Boy has done it. No confuse, no confuse. No confusion. Let's go. That's my Rock Boy. Ortega, devastated by his loss, lets out a naughty word, then suddenly delves into a flashback of the first time he ever cussed. And also something about bullying, but who cares? We've got better things to do, like fighting a giant catfish in a lake. We bludgeon the beast within an inch of its life, then it casually pieces out. Before we get the chance to finish off his second phase, you-know-who shows up again, and while I'm distracted, a little Tatsugiri walks into the cave and eats enough Herba Mystica to get even a cow stoned out of its mind. The catfish Dondozo dies due to water pollution, and we smash the little sushi man into paste thereafter. In a very heartwarming cutscene, Arvin and his dog share a sandwich where the secret ingredient is not Herba Mystica, but rather love. They confess their feelings to each other, kiss passionately, and live happily ever after. Why don't we have what they have, Miraidon? With Arvin and Mabosstiff's romance arc concluded, all that's left is one final team starbase to raid. Before that, we catch a Tinkatuff whose Fairy Steel typing rounds out our team's weaknesses quite well. I had some difficulty nicknaming this thing since the name Hammer Down wasn't allowed for some reason. It turns out anything containing the string Hammer D is also blocked, and trying to rationalize why gave me a migraine. Either way, if Nintendo thinks Hammer Down is too inappropriate of a phrase for this baby game, then who am I to argue? So we settle on a more family-friendly nickname. We evolve it fairly quickly, and I have to say I think Tinkaton might be my new favorite Pokemon of all time. Something about this tiny pink magical girl wielding a big fuck-off hammer speaks to me on a spiritual level, so I'm cutting out about 4 hours of grinding, but I just want to state that the best way to grind experience in this game is by farming chances near the fairy-type Team Starbase. Any regular person would make a sandwich that substantially boosts the normal type spawn rates. I'm not a regular person. We are not allowed to host a picnic unless a viewer specifically redeems the reward to do so. There's a good reason for this, but we'll get to that later. Once that grind is finished, a viewer makes us box our newly evolved Salamence for the upcoming Team Starbase. That would almost be a problem if Raiden couldn't set up 3 Swords Dances for free against a Toxicroak who only spams Sucker Punch. Raiden then proceeds to go Ripper mode, slashing everyone and everything in his path, giant car included. With the final Team Star boss taken out, Cassiopeia drops a big reveal on us that I sort of already figured out 2 whole bases ago. We now stand at a very awkward crossroad and are able to challenge the final boss of each story arc in any order we please. For some reason I chose to challenge Cassiopeia first, and the interaction we have with Clavel outside the school threw me for a loop in more ways than one. Allow me to reveal my true identity. Oh, never mind, that's funny. That's actually really funny. Director Clavel all along! There's like an excessive amount of self-awareness here, but then the next plot twist they're about to reveal is dog shit, right? You know, it actually, the fucking... Oh, I'm so angry. I'm so angry. Unironically, this would have been a better twist than, like, Cassiopeia being Penny and also the leader of Team Star, if my character hadn't just figured it out from the first encounter with Clive. The true identity of Cassiopeia, the big boss of Team Star, was me all along. You're full of shit. I'm not even... That's literally impossible. I may have seen through his lie about being Cassiopeia, but it was still nice of the game to pretend to have an interesting plot twist, even if for a moment. As for the fight itself, well, disaster struck. Clavel actually has a pretty good team with a lot of strong coverage moves, probably the first intimidating opponent we face in the game. It seems the other students aren't nearly as worried as we are though, since they just phase straight through the battle with their 5 FPS walk cycles. Meanwhile, we have taken down Oranguru, Gyarados, and Abomasnow. We now have Raiden on the field and are about to make a huge mistake. I accidentally forgot to reteach Shadow Claw, so we set up Swords Dance and Terrastalize to take Poltegeist out next turn, but instead of attacking, the little teapot uses Shell Smash, doubling its speed and damage. By the time I realized that death was approaching, it was already too late. I knew what this was. It was retribution. This Poltegeist was about to reclaim something he lost. The lives of so many of his Sinistea brethren that were used to craft the very armor Raiden is wearing now, and we were powerless to stop it. Raiden. Hey Raiden, can you hear me? Time for your bath. Come on, I know you don't like water, but cleanliness is important. Here, buddy, I'll get you cleaned up. By the way, I've been working on a gift for you. Sorry, but I'm not ready to reveal what it is. Promise you won't tell the others, though. I don't want them to think I'm picking favorites. I hope we can be friends forever, Raiden.
I actually felt that. This might sting a little. Fuck you! Next! Ah! You're already dead!
With the Cassiopeia imposter defeated, it's time to fight the real deal. For some reason, Clavel changes back into his Clive outfit, and this somehow completely fools Penny even though our character figured it out in like 2 seconds. What is going on with this game? The worst part about this whole scene is that despite it being the most embarrassing part of the game to read, Penny's theme is probably going to be a banger, and anytime I want to listen to it, I have to associate it with this dogshit plot twist and mediocre fight. Actually, hot take, I don't like this song very much. Raiden is still high on adrenaline from almost getting murdered and claims 5 heads in this battle, and if I had things my way, Penny's would be the 6th. To cap things off, we see Penny's very sad and emotional farewell to Team Star. This arc ends with Clavel forcing Team Star into indentured servitude. The good ending. Ever since we took on Team Star's last base, I've been made acutely aware of the existence of Annihilape, a new evolution of Primeape. In preparation for the Elite Four, we begin to train up a few new team members. We evolve Primeape by using Rage Fist 10 times, which is a very organic and intuitive evolution method that I certainly did not glean from external sources. We also finally evolve Claw. Since it would take so long to train up so many new Pokemon, I instead guilt-tripped my chat into redeeming another picnic for me, taking the grind down from 3 hours to 30 minutes. I also discovered for the very first time how useful all the shops are and that we could have had leftovers this entire time. So we buy one and immediately a viewer makes us drop it. Honestly, that was the pettiest one yet, and the store is literally right there, so we just walk in and buy more. I think it was more about the emotional damage than anything. We also reach our sub goal, but end up killing a Pokemon that was so irrelevant I forgot to even mention it in the script. The last redemption before the league is yet another picnic. Welcome back to another episode of Grooming My Gyarados. Now for the single hardest part of the entire game, the interview.
Please have a seat. I'm going to ask you a few questions. This won't take long. So, how many gym badges do you have?
I have 8. It even says so on the overlay.
That matches up with our records.
God, I love tomboys.
Alright, next question. What is your mother's maiden name?
It's Mom?
Where does your father work?
I don't know.
What was your major in college?
I dropped out of middle school.
Right. And why are you taking the champion assessment test today?
Lack of choice in the matter.
What do you intend to do if and when you become a champion?
I want to battle Nimona. Wait, no, why is that an option?
Do you have any previous work experience?
No? What, is this a job interview?
Are you enjoying your playthrough of Pokémon Violet?
What are you talking about?
Please answer the question.
I don't... Yes, I am.
So you're enjoying the game even with the performance issues?
Sure, yeah.
Which generation of Pokemon was your favorite?
Gen 5.
That's what they all say. Basic bitch.
What did you just call me?
Congrats, you passed. See you in the other room.
With that, the Elite Four gauntlet can properly begin. Rika leads with Whiscash, so we're forced to switch into Gyarados to avoid an earthquake, then take it out with 2 waterfalls. She sends in Donphan next. Predicting a Stone Edge, we terrastalize Gyarados into a water type to avoid the super effective hit. Was it a bit short-sighted to get rid of our only ground immunity this early into the battle? Maybe. Guess we'll see. Donphan lives a hit thanks to Sturdy as expected, and goes down with Dugtrio coming in to take its place. Fearing an earthquake, we switch into Raiden.
Oh no, I switched a fire type in on a ground move. Oh no, oh no, oh no.
Just kidding. Raiden is immune to ground moves thanks to a held air balloon. However, Dugtrio doesn't end up going for Earthquake at all. Instead, it just uses Sandstorm. We've confirmed that this Dugtrio has Sand Veil as an ability, meaning it now has a chance to dodge our next attacks. It outspeeds and goes for Rock Slide, which thankfully doesn't flinch. We then connect with Bitter Blade, which gets a clean one-shot. A bit of bad luck there and we'd probably have a dead body on our hands. Next is Camerupt, so we go back into Gyarados hoping the Intimidate drop is enough to survive an Earthquake. Instead, it just goes for Yawn, so we one-shot it with Waterfall in return for letting Carpium take a well-earned nap. Finally, Rika sends in Clodsire. I've used one of these things before, so I know they can't hit for shit, which means we are safe to hard-switch Mario into even a Terra Ground Earthquake. This results in a tense back and forth where we attempt numerous times to heal out of crit range and land Salt Cure, even getting hit by Toxic Poison. However, any semblance of tension is completely shattered, since Mario just shrugs off a terminal illness because he just really likes me, I guess. Next Elite Four member is Poppy. In between these battles, the game lets you swap Pokemon out from your boxes, and if I'm not mistaken, you can even leave and come back partway through. In hindsight, I shouldn't have allowed myself to switch out my party during this gauntlet to be more consistent with the older games, but I didn't think of that at the time. Also, I start to have a bit of a brain blast and develop a game theory. My theory is that each of the Elite Four members in Champion match the typing of one of the 5 Titans: Rock, Steel, Ground, Flying, and Dragon. Rika was a Ground type, and based entirely on that key hanging from her neck, this creepy little puppet baby might be a Steel type. We choose our team accordingly, opting to lead with Mumkey the Annihilape. Before the battle, a viewer redeemed Shadow Tag, which ends up not mattering much since Mumkey gets the clean one-shot, meaning we're allowed to switch again. Corviknight goes down to a Volt Switch just as a viewer locks out move slot number 3. We switch in Raiden to set up Flame Charges on Bronzong for the sweep. Her next Pokemon, Magnezone, survives a hit with Sturdy, but wastes its precious final moments setting up Light Screen. Tinkaton terrastalizes into the dead type, and Poppy breaks down crying like the cringe little toddler she is. Now you know that little game theory I had earlier about the Pokemon types? Well, that all falls apart as Larry the Salaryman is revealed to be the third Elite Four member. At least that's what I got jebaited into thinking, but it turns out he's actually a flying type specialist now, which means our entire team prep was done in anticipation of the complete wrong type. In addition, a viewer made me box Ampharos for the fight, so we end up coming into the battle with barely any flying type answers. We have to switch Mumkey out for Mence, who proceeds to miss a 95% accurate fly. Thanks for contributing, nerd. After seeing its moveset, we're safe to switch Hammercock in since it walls Tropius. Next, Larry sends in Altaria, and we swap to Gyarados to avoid a potential Earthquake or Flamethrower, then one-shot with Ice Fang. Staraptor's out next, so we bring Mario in to tank a Brave Bird, then protect to scout close combat. We send in Nerd the Salamence to intimidate Staraptor, then it's back to Mario. We protect again for Leftovers recovery, then KO in one hit with Salt Cure. Oricorio tries to confuse Mario, but catches a face full of salt. We stall it out until it dies of dehydration. Then all that remains is just a literal flamingo. It terastallizes and goes for close combat, so we switch in Gyarados to drop its attack before going back to Mario. Like the degenerate I am, I completely stall it out of close combat by swapping a bunch, then douse it in salt for the kill. We are down to the last Elite Four member, and I predict he will be a rock type. A viewer makes us replace Waterfall with Splash for the rest of the run, meaning Gyarados' only physical water move is Aqua Tail, and I would sooner die than use that 90% accurate garbage. Additionally, Mario is now named Block and Balls via viewer nickname. The battle starts, and boy do I love being wrong twice in a row. Hassel turns out to be a Dragon-type trainer. Honestly, this fight isn't worth talking about. He seemingly had no answers for most of our team, and we were never in any danger. We close things out by sending in Hammercock and compressing Baxcalibur's spinal column. Finally, it's time to battle the champion. Block and Balls is out first to set up a Stealth Rock. We switch Claw into a Psychic-type move it's immune to, then take a kill with Beat Up even through Reflect. Avalugg is out next, meaning it almost certainly has a super effective move. I hard call a Body Press and switch into Raiden, which ends up being the correct play. Avalugg lives a hit thanks to Reflect, then retaliates with a hard Earthquake. Her King Gambit is next, and I figure from the design it's a Bisharp evolution. Fearing a potential Sucker Punch, we end up raw swapping Carpium into a Stone Edge, which he tanks surprisingly well. We bring in Halal to start racking up status effects, then Volt Switch out. Hammercock is about the only one left who can tank hits from King Gambit, so we fake out for chip damage then trade blows until it goes down. Veluza lets us use Carpium to safely pivot into Weavile, who takes it out with Beat Up. Her Go-Goat comes in like a lamb to the slaughter, then finally Geeta shows her ace, Glamora. Having no idea what type this could be, I make the call to risk Claw in order to find out. It's holding a King's Rock, so with 6 hits of Beat Up, Glamora has about a 60% chance of flinching. My heart sinks when it terastallizes into a rock type, and its ability sprays toxic spikes everywhere, but it'll all be okay, just as long as it flinches. Or does that? For the record, this thing does have Rock-type Terra Blast, and Claw would be dead as hell if she used that, but no, actually, screw it. No celebration, I'm ranting about how stupid this fight is. Glimmora, the Pokemon she sends out last, has an ability that becomes less useful the later it's triggered. King Gambit, on the other hand, becomes stronger the more allies have fainted. So why isn't Glimmora her lead and King Gambit her ace? Even in the rematches, her team is the exact same, and I'm supposed to suspend my disbelief that this is the top-ranked trainer in Paldea when she can't even... Okay, let's rein it in and calm the nerd rage a bit. We've won. We're now the champion. GG. The run's over. Roll credits. What is Nemona doing here?
OMG, I heard your totes like a champion now. That's like hella poggers, fam.
Did you always talk like that?
Oof, don't be acting sus, my guy. Let's be rivals for livesies.
I'd rather be castrated.
Oh, please, 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 please.
Fine,
please,
just
please,
shut up.
Yes! Let's battle to the death. Come on, let's go.
I'm moving back to Galar.
Can you feel it? The energy of the crowd?
I sure can.
Really gets my juices flowing, if you know what I mean.
Nemona, I've been meaning to bring this up for a while now, but I think you're too old to be hanging out with me.
I hope you're ready, because today I'm gonna emasculate you in front of an adoring audience.
You know what? Screw it. I'm not afraid of you anymore. Let's settle this once and for all. It's time for the final battle against Nemona, and to abbreviate it as much as possible, Lycanroc, dead. Orthworm, dead. Goodra, dead. Dudunsparce gets even longer? Pawmot, dead. And finally, Quaquaval, super dead. And by the way, I hope you didn't get baited a second time by that 60% flinch thing I said during the champion battle. That would be especially embarrassing. Now, this is the part where I would go over our battle with Arvin, but our team is kinda over-leveled for this fight, and this video is already— Jesus fuck, how long? So instead, I'm just gonna have you take my word that we won without any deaths. With that, all that's left is to convince Nimona and Penny to come with us to Area 0. It'll probably be okay as long as Arvin's there. Since the final boss of the game is probably in Area 0, our new level cap is— I have no idea, and I didn't want to look it up for fear of spoilers either. Instead, we're just gonna play the rest of the game with no unnecessary grinding and hope we aren't too high of a level when the final battle comes around. So we call up the gang and tell them we're all going to jump out of this building and plummet several hundred feet into a giant crater, to which everyone is a little too eager to agree to. Turns out Miraidon is too cowardly to walk around the big scary crater with us, so it straight up ditches us to hide in its ball. After all those sandwiches I gave you, this is how you repay me? Whatever. Not like we'll need a legendary for this run or anything. We now have to disengage the locks at the 4 research stations, which is about as tedious as it sounds. Deeper into the abyss, we encounter a funny looking Hydreigon. And it's dead. As we go into a building to deactivate a lock, Arvin stops us and entrusts us with the Violet Book, claiming it's his greatest treasure and that he's relying on us to keep it safe. And while I reassure him that he can trust me, I can make no such promises about chat, as we are immediately forced to toss the book right in front of him. Ah well, it probably wasn't that important anyways. In front of the door to the Zero Lab, we're ambushed by Miraidon's abusive ex-girlfriend. Miraidon X ditches us and leaves us with a whole swarm of Paradox Pokemon we have to fight off. The rest of the gang holds them back, and we're free to run straight into the Zero Lab before I'm forced to pronounce any of their names. Turo reveals that he died and stuffed his memories into the AI we're talking to right now, which as far as Pokemon stories go is pretty metal. He then takes us down the 5-minute Evangelion elevator. So, what's the Wi-Fi password?
It's on the back of the router.
Finally, we reach the bottom, and Turo tells us that if we want to stop the time machine from sending any more Paradox Pokemon here, we'll need to use the Violet Book. Whoops! Maybe we can just kick his ass instead. Turo drops a Master Ball from atop his pillar, revealing none other than— No. How did he know my weakness? This does not bode well. Halal gets hit hard by Sludge Wave and confuses the moth thing before switching for free into Hammercock, who lands a fake out and a Gigaton Hammer for some decent damage before getting scorched by Fiery Dance. We get another free switch into Raiden thanks to Flash Fire, but he takes a big chunk of damage before finishing it off. Turo sends out his next Pokemon, a Paradox form of Tyranitar, and just like the first one, I also have no idea what type this thing is or what attacks it has, but the fact that it probably has both Earthquake and a Rock move makes switching way too risky. It seems Raiden is gonna have to stay in and earn his stripes once again. We order Raiden to attack the weird Tyranitar thing, but he doesn't seem to understand what that means, and right as his concentration lapses— It's okay, Hammercock can get us out of this, right? Go, attack the, green guy.
What are we going to do on—
It's all over. We're gonna wipe here, after everything we've been through. And it's all because of one stupid word. Raiden, Hammercock, I'm sorry I couldn't save you. I'm gonna do something I should have done a long time ago.
Iron.
Wait, really? It's I-earn? That's so stupid! The English language may be doomed, but this run isn't. It's time we turn the fight around the only way we can. It's time for Blockin' Balls to truly shine.
How are you winning? Does not fucking compute.
Didn't you know, Turo? Iron is susceptible to corrosion, which you thought was my biggest weakness, ended up causing your downfall. Now, I would say that's quite ironic. And just like that, we didn't actually solve any problems. We can't close the time machine without the Violet Book, and the region is still in peril, but I grew as a person today, and that's all that really matters. The rest of the gang shows up, and when I try to explain what happened to them, they all unanimously call bullshit. It doesn't really matter if nobody believes me, because the experiences I had and the lessons I've learned throughout all this are my greatest treasure. Oh, hold up, it's not over yet. Turo's being a sore loser. He boots up again for round 2, but we've already established we can beat him in a Pokemon battle, so I don't know what he hopes to... Oh, I see. He's just gonna do murder. This is no longer a Pokemon Nuzlocke. This is a human Nuzlocke, and it looks like we're about to wipe. Wait. Maybe there's a way out of this. It said it locked out all Pokeballs except those registered under Turo's ID, which means Miraidon can... Ah, shit, I left him outside the lab. Unlucky. Well, it's not like we were allowed to use legendaries anyways, it's just a shame the run had to end this way. No, you know what? Screw the game's rules. I'm tired of never having a voice. From now on, I refuse to let anyone decide for me again, especially not some dad bot running on Windows XP. This time the power is in my hands, because I've finally found what my greatest treasure was. It's been with me for so long now, but I just never realized it. This whole time, my greatest treasure was a gun. So in the end, not even Twitch chat could stop me from completing this Nuzlocke, but I suspect they didn't really want to. For basically everyone there, this was also their first exposure to the game too, and those spineless cowards didn't have the balls to ruin the viewing experience for themselves just to see me suffer. Though in the future, I think a challenge like this is best suited to a game I've already played before. As always, thanks for watching, and if you aren't subscribed, go eat a dick. See ya!